All right, should be good. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Pat Sucks at Making Beats. Today I'm going to go over this one I made. It's kind of like a bit of a Latin feel, a little bit of jazzy. Played MIDI piano on it and guitar. Give you a sneak preview, play the verse, a little bit of the verse. Sorry, the intro, a little bit of the verse, and then the chorus. Then we'll break down everything that I did, get into some of the mixing stuff as well, too. We'll let the chorus come in, and then we'll skip it forward. Coming into the chorus. All right, so let's break that down. To start, I made these chords in here. I won't get too crazy into the theory, but I'll go into a little bit of it. So let's see. We got D minor to start, D minor 7. So that's just D, F, A, C. D minor 7. 9 actually. Had the 9 in there too. Next, let's see. G minor. Next is G minor, like sound like this. G minor 7 to be precise. And then A minor 7. And then the next is basically the same. It's just D minor 7. G minor 7. But this one, instead of A minor 7, I did an A7, an A dominant 7. The only difference between these two is the third. So instead of a minor third, so instead of A to C, it's a major third. So A to C sharp. So C, A, C sharp here, major third. So that makes this whole chord a dominant 7 instead of a minor 7. So we'll look at the difference real quick. Here's minor 7 in the first go around. And then the dominant 7 in the second one. So kind of nice, a little bit more dissonant. Didn't want to just repeat the same thing over and over again, so we had a little bit of variation in that progression. So for the sounds, I just found this guitar patch in Omnisphere. See which one this is. LA synth guitar is what I used. And then to layer the chords, I also used this same thing over here, copied and pasted the MIDI, but I had these gospel singers that I found in Omnisphere as well. Sounds, same chords, sounds like this. And then again, since it's the same chords, had the A minor 7 in this first one, and then A dominant 7 in the second one. Just like that. So I started there, and then I found this nice, little drum loop. Kind of reminded me of a Latin feel. So tossed that in there and came up with this bass line to go with it. Actually, let's look at that bass line. So I just followed the chords basically. So it's just D minor 7 again, and And then this next one, I was focused on the G and then the A right here. And I basically just outlined the chord. Just went D, F, A, D, the top, and then coming down, I hit that C, the 7th note of the chord. So right before the root. And then the bass line by itself sounds like this. And yeah, it just repeats in that next one. Rhythm, just kind of played it out. This one I just played out on the MIDI keyboard and then quantized it, made sure the notes were all in the right places. Each note found its home. And then I found this other drum loop to start with as well. See, it's like hi-hats. Back this up. So far, what we had to start the song. So we had that nice little groove going. And then I wanted to make my own drums, at least for the chorus. So set up these drums, and I didn't like how it sounded with the other bass. I thought it was just too busy, too much going on. So I made my own Reese bass instead. So here's what the drums sound like with the chords. And actually I had this hi-hat loop going too. So what I thought was nice is, yeah, you have the hi-hat loop here, but I put my own hi-hats in as well. It was just like a tick, 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 just one on each beat. Super, super simple. Do this section. Yeah, literally just going right across. Mess with the velocities a little bit. Did I change the pan? Yeah, and then I randomized the pan as well. So you can do that by selecting everything. Actually, you might not even need to do that. Tools, randomize, and then under pan, you can just mess with these settings, and then get the pan, so the left and right ear. Just randomize that a little bit. So I thought that was good. Always a nice touch to do that. Kick, what do we got here? Throw the metronome on too. Yeah, so I kept that pretty syncopated as well. Kind of get a feel for that groove. Snare, just super simple. I think I just, yeah. No layers, just kept it right there. And then again, all together. And then the Reese bass was very similar, where I was just following the chords. Held out the D. Let's hear what it sounds like. Just like that. Very powerful, fat, thick with 2 C's bass. That one I made in Serum. I just made this Reese bass a long time ago and keep using it. I think this is a saw wave. 6 voices, slight detune, around 19 up here. See that? A little bit of a low pass filter. Yeah, you want this to be super wide, fully in stereo. Nice wide, juicy bass. Didn't do any sub or noise. Don't think I have any effects on here either. Oh, compressor. That I thought sounded nice. And then if we get to a bunch of effects, I'll cover these in a minute. But once I had that basic loop, the verse, then I had these drums going and added the bass, got into arranging. And I figured I'd play guitar on this one a little bit. Thought it would be a nice touch. So I basically just kind of soloed a little bit over the intro. And then at the end, I threw on some delay. Show you that in a sec. You get a vibe there. And then this last note, I didn't quite hit it correctly, so it didn't hold out. And instead of just redoing it, I put delay on here, turned it on real quick just for this note so that the note would ring out. And I wouldn't have to do it again and like actually hold the note and re-record it. So here's what it sounds like. So that way it still rings out, still takes up that little bit of space and has a nice transition into the verse. And I didn't have to go back and re-record it. So it's a nice little trick there. And then some more guitar played here in the verse. I just did back and forth between the C and the D. So the 7th note of the scale and the root sounds like this. Let's probably do this. Make sure the delay's turned off. Threw in some bluesy stuff there too, but it was basically just the 7th note of the scale and the root. Kept in the blues scale, threw in the minor 3rd as well. So back and forth between those, couple little fills in there. And then I overlaid the chorus with just chords. So I just played the same chords I described earlier. It was just D minor 7, G minor 7, A minor 7. And then that second time through, switched the A minor 7 to an A dominant 7. On here, I used Amplitude. This is actually free. If you Google Amplitude, I forget who makes it. It's a nice tone. They have this awesome paid-for version that I don't have yet, but probably should get. This is all free, just the select few amps that they give you to start with, which all sounds awesome. They have a few effects you can throw on there as well. There we go. I think I put on compressor. Yeah, reverb and a compressor. Set it up pretty simple. Got a nice little vibe going with that. Throw in this fruity flanger. I think I played around with the presets a little bit and just found one that I liked. Delay. This is automated, so it only turns on for that one note coming out the intro. Threw on another compressor. Gain matched it over here too. So gain matching, you want the volume to be the same before and after the plugin came into the equation. So basically turning it off and back on again and making sure that the volume is about the same. But we still get that nice compression effect, kind of glue everything together. Gives it a nice sparkle sometimes. Keep everything under control. We don't want it to get too peaky, especially when you're dealing with a live instrument like a guitar. EQ'd it a little bit. I don't have the best ear in the world, but kind of settled on this. I thought it sounded pretty good. Left more room in the highs for other things. Yeah, that's basically what I had on the guitar there. Now for effects, kind of worked the effects in as I was arranging it. As you can see, it's basically just intro. Stripped it all back, so it was just bass and that hi-hat loop going. And then brought in the Latin drums with the rest of the chords too, and that all hits. So for all these effects, these are really, really nice to throw in there for transitions and to just give the song overall nice feel. Creates these little ear candies here and there. Just keeps everything a bit more interesting as you're going through it. So to start, I just threw in this vinyl noise. It's just a little crackle. Might not even be able to hear it. Super subtle in the backgrounds. I had this. Threw in this little bass thing going down. And then for this transition into the verse, I had a transition into the part where it's just bass, and then also back into the chords too. Let's throw these on. There we go. And then again. And this is just crash cymbals, and then this is just like a reversed crash. This was a transition I found. Nice little airy one too here. Another sweep transition, just threw these in, whatever felt like it would sound good, add a little bit. And this one comes in a minute. It's kind of nice there. And then during the chorus, I threw in these rides. Whoops. These, I alternated the panning. So this first one is left ear, and then the second one is right ear. Just kind of goes back and forth like psh, 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 psh. Makes everything a little bit wider, takes up a little bit of space. Just kind of makes the chorus sound a bit fuller. But then when you turn everything on, you don't even really notice it. It's one of those things you feel, but you can't really hear it in context with everything. Transitions down here too. Coming out of the chorus, I kept the chords in, but I took out the gospel singers. I just kept it with those like Omnisphere guitar MIDI chords. Just thin it out a little bit, let that run with the bass, and then let everything come in right after. See this, ring it out. Took out that last little bit here too. I just imagine somebody going into a verse and then leave that room for just the end of one of those phrases to kind of just hit different. Thing for transitions and arrangement, all that. I did this automation clip over here. Where is it? I gotta be more organized, don't I? Oh yeah. So instead of doing it twice, I made this bus. So I just put both of these channels onto this one, and then this is the one that actually routes back to the master. So you see, this goes to the bus. This one also routes to the bus, and the bus is the one that goes to the master. So this is automated. I just had this this high cut right here, and then it expands. You'll see it open up as the intro goes on. Just introduce the chords slowly. And then once everything comes in, it's actually all the way over. Mixing, we won't get too deep into that on this video. I actually kept the effects organized, put them all in here. I guess to just brush over the mixing side real quick. took out the low ends for everything that didn't need, like everything that wasn't a kick drum or the bass. Even then, you really don't want more than one thing to be in the sub at the same time. Ozone Imager is a cool free plugin. Creates stereo separation or width in something without getting into a phasing issue. So I threw that on here. Reese Bass, yeah, Sausage Fattener, this is a good one. Super simple plugin, just nice one to have. Yeah, I took out the highs there. Reese, similar. High shelf. Side chains. I don't think I did that with the regular bass. Yeah, with the Reese, I just side chained it with a kick. So that way in the chorus, every time the kick comes, the Reese ducks down. And yeah, drum bus right here. So all these drums route to the drum bus. Kick, I usually like to EQ kind of like this. Drop it around 500 hertz, low mid section, then boost it around. As you can see there, the boosts. And then I did parallel compression over here. So I just use Fruity Compressor. Attack. For drums, I like to set the attack to about 30 milliseconds. Put the ratio all the way up. Then drop the threshold down to about here. 30, 35, 40-ish. And then gain match it. So like I mentioned earlier, keep the total volume of all the drums the same before and after this plugin gets applied. So basically just toggle it on and off and make sure that you turn this up until it's the same volume that everything was before you put this on. And then the final step to parallel compression is you turn it down halfway to 50%. So you get that raw signal and also half of the compressed signal split 50-50. Kind of helps glue everything together, makes the drum sounds a bit like they're from the same kit. Threw the rides in here too. Noise, yep. And what I should do still is probably even take out the low ends from all these too. Just don't want any of that muddiness. What I mean by that here is parametric EQ. Do this shelf. So you can see it. There is a little bit of low end there. So we just want to cut that all out. See what this sounds like right here. All right, that's better. I should do that for all of them too. Sound a little bit cleaner. But that's about it. I'll post this track to my channel as well if you want to check out the full thing. Start to finish, write any verses, basically write a song to it if you want. Feel free, hit me up if you want the beat, and I will see you next time.